All right, and now we're officially beginning. All right, so closing your eyes, taking a deep breath in. We call all of our higher selves present, whether you're live or on replay. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Just honoring your hearts into this space. And we're calling on each of our higher selves, each of our hearts to fill our bodies now. So you can see a waterfall of light from above your head, just cascading down your crown chakra, your third eye, your throat, your heart, solar plexus, into your womb, your root, your legs, feet, arms, and hands. Just feel this light that is your higher self starting to fill you. And this light of your higher self is your business coach. This is like your boss. This is where you go to receive the downloads. So allow your higher self to fill you now and start to understand that anywhere that you're worried or you're stressed or you feel stuck or overwhelmed, you can simply surrender that over to your higher self in any given moment, whether you're meditating or whether you're at the grocery store. So you can do that right now. Anywhere that feels a little off to you, you can just say, thank you, higher self, for taking this from me. Thank you, higher self, for showing me the way here. And this practice is at the foundation of what I teach, is just really allowing your higher self to fill in the details for you. So just breathing. Breathing and allowing your higher self to come in. We call Archangel Michael, we call our spirit guides, our angels, our well ancestral guides to come in. And we set the intention that divine guidance is channeled through today that is perfect for all who are here, present, live, or on replay. We set the intention that everyone who is here receives an activation for their business and their life's mission today. And so it is. Archangel Michael is going to make sure of that. We call Isis in, Mother Mary, call the frequency of the Black Panther in, the Pleiadian archangels, the Syrian archangels. And in your heart, you can set any intentions that you wish to be fulfilled today, anything that you wish to receive from this session. And taking a big breath in. Whenever you're ready, you can come back to this space. All right. Amazing. All right, welcome back. So we're just going to dive right in. I'm just going to go through the questions that came in one by one. And hopefully, even if it isn't your question, you'll find some support and feel like the answers or the question serves you. Okay, so first question is from Trishna. So she says, what platform would help me best draw in and connect to my audience? I primarily use YouTube, but I'm open to a Facebook group of my own, Instagram, etc. Okay, this is a great question. So the basis of this question is, okay, I want to work with clients, or what I'm guessing she means, I want to work with clients, I want to sort of expand my reach, I want to support people. What actual technical avenue is going to best serve me? YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. So, okay, so again, we're going back to what we spoke about in meditation, where you really want to ask this question to your higher self, because you want to show up in spaces that feel good for you. You don't want to show up on a platform that just feels like it's not what you want to be on a soul level. However, you know, if you're open and if your soul and your higher self is open to just using whatever to get the message out, I actually recommend all of them: YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. Those three are sort of my main pillars, as well as my email list for communication. So the thing about say YouTube versus Facebook or Instagram is pretty cool, okay? Because with Facebook and with Instagram, when you post, those channels are going to promote those posts for a short period of time. So maybe 3 days, maybe a week, maybe up to a week and a half. But if you posted something from like 2-3 weeks ago, that's no longer circulating for the most part in people's algorithm. However, YouTube, I get people watching videos that I posted years and years ago. YouTube is a long-term search engine. YouTube is amazing for, you know, someone, if you post something today on YouTube, it's very, very likely that in 2 years, someone's going to search for it, or it's going to be recommended in the sidebar and they're going to find you. So with YouTube, it's important to have links that are like a link to your website, or a link that's sort of, you're just going to leave always open for people to find you. So maybe in your video, you're going to say, subscribe to my channel if you like this, or I have a free gift, get the link below. And you want to keep that link open, even if you're not actively promoting it necessarily on other platforms in 2 years, whatever that free gift was, that's actually going to allow you to capture emails over a long period of time. So I like all of them, and it depends, just whatever makes you happy. And we're going to go into this even more because there's a little bit more questions about this from different angles, so I'll leave it at there. And Trishna says, what block may be keeping my audience from finding my energy and content? Okay, so this is an interesting question, because a lot of the time when we think about expanding our audience and having people find us, what we've been trained to do is really like go out and make sure, like, yeah, I'm on YouTube and I'm on Facebook and I'm just everywhere, right? And it's this very like, I'm out there energy. So that's okay. Like, this energy of like going outward can be really beautiful. That's the more masculine energy, right? The masculine is directive, going to get it. The feminine is more receptive and bringing in. So most of the time what we actually want to do is we want to rebalance our energy fields to be more receptive, because we've been so trained to be directive and out there that, yeah, we're going to post on Instagram and Facebook and all of that. And then we go, well, what else can I do for clients to find me? Well, you want to come back. If you caught our live on Business's Temple, you want to come back and make sure that your temple space of your business, of your work, is a strong energetic, right? If you're like, oh, I want to help people, and you just stay there for 5 seconds and then you go off and post and post and post and post, there isn't a strong energetic for people to really be magnetized in that more feminine energy. So what I do, I like to sometimes create altars for my business or for my programs to really like zhuzh up and create this sort of physical space that I can sit in front of, or that I can feed. I'll meditate, say with the Sisterhood of the Mermaid Moon or Divine Feminine in Business. I'll meditate with my soul mission, and I'll make sure that I'm connected into what it is that I'm a pillar for. And in that case, the energy of what I'm doing becomes strong and magnetic. And so I can really receive people coming to find me. So when I am in that masculine energy of like, I'm going to post on Instagram, post on Facebook, I'm going to do the things, there is, again, that weight, so to speak, for people to really be magnetized in. And this is something that a lot of people miss. They don't really cultivate the strong energetics. And you can also do this through journaling. It's like, what does your business feel like? What is the temple space? If you are, so I'm just going to let someone in here. If you are, thinking of your business as a temple space, you want to make sure that that is a powerful energetic. What are the colors of your temple space? What are the frequencies? What are the words? What does it look like in your mind's eye? That kind of thing. And you want to like know it so well that you can just like bury yourself into your own business and your temple space and really feel like you can feel it. So that's really important. All right. So next question. So the next question is from Janet, who just is joining us live, and okay, great. So welcome, Janet, just hopping on. I'm actually just getting to your question now, so perfect timing. Okay, so Janet says, how do I make decisions? I have so many ideas and possibilities. I feel unclear about what path to follow, what I really want, and what would serve the highest good the best. Okay, great question. So, okay, this is like a really, really common question that I get is, so many of us have all of these ideas, or all of these interests, and it's unclear about, sometimes which path should I follow. So the key piece in this is that you need to be able to hear yourself. And our society hasn't trained us to really hear ourselves and listen to ourselves. So if you're feeling unclear about your direction, what that indicates is that you're not able to hear yourself at a deep enough level in that current moment, and that's okay. But you want to consistently carve out time and spaciousness for yourself where you're off social media, you're off technology, maybe you're in nature, maybe you're in your meditation space, and you're not even trying to get anything. You're not like, okay, but what is it? What's the next step? I need to download it. You're just reconnecting with yourself and your heart. And the ego doesn't like that. The ego wants everything now. The ego's like, just, I want to know like where I'm going, what I'm doing, what I'm working on. But the soul already knows, your higher self already has all of those answers. But it's important that we slow down enough and just reconnect with ourselves before we're trying to get the answers. We just need to reconnect with our hearts and be able to listen. One of my favorite sort of ways of doing this is working with Archangel Michael. So Archangel Michael is the archangel associated with life purpose. All of the archangels will be able to serve you and support you in terms of your life purpose, but Archangel Michael has a really heightened role on this planet in terms of supporting and guiding what we call light workers, right? So if you're unclear about your direction, what I would recommend is first carving out more time just to hear yourself, again, without that motivation of like, but where am I going? What am I doing? I need to just distill my ideas down. Hear your soul, hear your higher self, hear what wants to come through just in terms of reconnection. And you might be surprised. You might hear, okay, right now is not the time to launch anything. Right now is a time to receive and heal. You might hear, all I want you to do right now in this moment is go to the grocery store after this, get ingredients for a green juice, come home and make one. And the ego might be like, what the fuck? That is not what I wanted. I want to know what I'm posting today, what my program is going to be. But when we listen to ourselves, like it's all on the past. So you get that green juice, you listen to yourself, your nervous system calms down, you feel more alkalized, you feel better in your body, and then you're ready for the next step. But here's the thing, this is what people miss so much, is that it's about constant communion with the higher self. It's not about I meditated for 10 minutes today, so I should be good. Yes, I listened to myself. It's about when you get home from the grocery store, thank you, higher self, for guiding my next steps. Thank you to my soul for showing me the way. Archangel Michael, what else would you have me do today? What's important in this moment for me to hear? And you can just kind of listen and drop in for 10 seconds, 15 seconds. So it's about this constant communication with your higher self. If you want to work with angels, if you want to work with ascended masters, and really making sure that you're carving out time where you're not on the computer. Like basically right now, like today for the rest of the day, like this is what I'm doing because I've been, quite busy promoting Divine Feminine in business, doing a lot of calls, behind the scenes, a lot of emails, getting people signed up. And today is my day for reconnection because I recognize that I can't hear myself as deeply today as I like to because I've been sort of doing in the energy of doing, which is totally okay. I needed to do that. I needed to be there to get things happening. But after this, I have no call scheduled today, sort of a day off after this. So I'm going to take it. So you kind of have to be aware of like, can I hear myself today? What does hearing myself feel like today? And usually hearing yourself feels like I feel connected. I feel powerful, I feel relaxed, or I feel inspired. So we're always going back to that, like, how can I hear myself? Can I hear myself more deeply? And that's important. Okay, that's all I'll say about that. So let me know if you've come in the chat, because I know that was Janet's question. And if that's clear, let me know. If that's not clear, if you're like, hey, I have like 5 million more questions, or you didn't quite answer what I meant, like, just let me know. And I would love to I would love to connect with you all one-on-one. There's not that many people live, so I might be able to. Why don't okay, Janet says, perfect answer, awesome. Okay, so when I am answering your questions, everybody who's here today, including Janet, if you want to come on and speak with me and be on video, let me know. Just raise your hand when I'm going through your question, just to make sure I got it. So Janet, if that's like good for you, you feel complete, awesome. And if you want to raise your hand and speak with me and just get a little bit more clarity, you can also do that. So in order to raise your hand, you just go over the participants button thingy on Zoom, and then you can raise your hand from there. If you can't figure that out, just go in the chat and say, I'm raising my hand, and I will connect with you from there. Okay. So now we are going to Taylor's question. She says, hello, Beth. I have a body of work that has been sitting with me for a while. I would love to scribe it into a potent online course that truly transmits it. Technically, what programs or websites have you found to be the most streamlined and intuitive to use for this purpose? Okay, great. So part of this question, I guess, is like, okay, I want to scribe it. I want to create the course. So first off, you have to feel into, do I want this to be on video? Do I want this to be pre-recorded live? Do I want to use guided meditations, audio healings and clearings, journal questions? Probably most of you, if not all of you, have been in online courses. It's like pretty popular these days, you know, for a learning technique. This is how we communicate. So first, you just want to sit into, how can I best share my course? Guess what? We always go back to our higher selves for that, as always, because our higher selves are our true selves. You can also call your higher self your divine essence, your source spark energy, etc. So then from there, you're going to download that. And what I really like right now is, what I was using a different sort of system before, which I have some technical skills and some coding skills from back in the day, long story. But now I'm switching over to using a platform called Thinkific. There's also, you know, Teachable. These are like these online course portals. So you can use something like Thinkific. It's basically like you plug your content in, you put it in modules, and your student can go through it and kind of like check it off and say it's done. And you can put a video in, you can put guided meditations in. So I'm gonna just write that here. So there's Thinkific, which I like more than Teachable personally, but there's also Teachable. I think there's another one that's popular too. Those are like some main ones you can feel into. And those are kind of like done for you systems where you can plug your content in and it's sort of just good to go. There's a little bit of a learning curve like everything technologically, but that's what I would recommend. Okay, so next one is Hope. Hi, love. Okay, so Hope says, when you began working with angels, guides, ascended masters, did you move through overwhelm of wanting to know all of the things but not feeling you can learn fast enough? Okay. So Hope, do you want me to just answer this off the bat, or do you want to share anything more on video before I get into this? You're good?
There we go. You can share it off the bat, and then if I have anything.
Okay, great. Sounds good. Yeah, you can keep yourself unmuted if you want. So in case you have anything to share. So the thing about this, okay, first off, yes. Okay, so when I started learning about angels and sort of waking up, like I was pretty voracious in terms of wanting to know. Like I remember, so I was in university for finance and I sort of had my spiritual awakening and I was learning, and I remember being in this really hard course, like this financial course that was like very specific that I should have been paying attention to, and I was just like in the back reading, I think it was Ask Your Guides by Sonia Choquette, and I was just reading about the angels, and I was just like, whatever, I'll catch up with this later. It's kind of how I survived my last couple years of university. I would just like daydream or do other things in class, and then when the pressure was on for an exam, just like read the text and figure it out. So what I want you to know about this is that if you have that like kind of feeling like I want to know more about guides and angels and ascended masters, and it feels like I really feel it almost like behind, I want to catch up, to me that indicates that it's part of your life's mission to actually work with these beings and be a channel for them. Because I have a lot of spiritual friends who, they know about the angels, they know about the ascended masters, I might work with them sometimes, but it's not like a main part of their spiritual path. And so if you kind of have that feeling when you're like, oh, I'm just learning about this and this, that to me would indicate that later on in your journey, you're probably going to be a channel for them. You're going to teach about them. But the thing is, especially if that's the case, sure, you can get a lot from books and they can activate you a lot. But the best teachings that you're going to be able to receive are just your own unique connections with, on your meditation pillow, whoever you're calling in, right? We spoke before, we know you have a connection with Mother Mary naturally, and sort of the Marian frequencies, the Rose, maybe the Magdalene frequencies. I'm just gonna let someone else in here who's called Lioness. Like, that sounds cool. I gotta mute everyone. Oh, I don't wanna mute you, Hope. Okay, we'll just leave it at that. So Yeah, like I think the best thing that you can also do is just trust that if you needed to know any of this stuff 5 years ago and you're behind, like you would have woken up to this 5 years ago. So you're totally right on track. There's nothing that you need to just like, you're not behind. The invitation for you is to spend more time on your meditation pillow with whoever you want to call in and say, what do I need to know? And because that's gonna, I feel like the behind the question is like, I want to be able to receive them, I want to like really feel this and get it. So a book is only going to go so far with you to activate remembrances. How you're going to get that really intimate feeling of like, oh, that's what you want me to know, is again meditation. Say, Mother Mary, I call upon you now, what would you have me hear? And if you don't get anything right away, you're going to go back and back and back and back to that meditation pillow until you're able to start to actually hear this being. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, that's super helpful. I feel like I think where the confusion is I'm like, okay, calling upon, what do I need to know? Calling upon my guides. And sometimes I'm like, I don't know who's speaking. And that's where I'm like, okay, am I not learning enough to like understand how to identify, or will it just come over time? And I think that's super helpful, like balancing, okay, read, but generally create the connection on the meditation pillow is where that's going to start to happen the most potent.
Yeah. I honestly still like, so I can identify Archangel Michael's energy really, really well. Usually Mother Mary's energy and Isis's energy. Those are like some of my main guides for lifetimes. But a lot of the time, I don't even know who's talking to me. I just know the frequency of divine guidance. Like it doesn't matter because we're all facets of source. It's all us anyway. So the best thing for that in that case, I would say, is just learn what divine guidance feels like. It's like when your mom's speaking to you versus when your partner's speaking to you and you have your eyes closed. How do you know the difference? Well, they sound different. There's a lot that's different, right? You can get that. So the more that you learn, the more that you just connect with your own kind of guidance and wisdom over time, you'll know, okay, that was the voice of my mind versus that was the voice of divine guidance. It has a different feeling to it, and it makes you feel differently as well. But other than that, honestly, it doesn't matter that much if Archangel Raphael told you that, or Archangel Michael, or Mother Mary. Over time, you'll start to learn their unique kind of frequencies more and more, but it's all aspects of source energy, so it doesn't really matter that much.
Beautiful. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, we got, all right, so thanks for that question. All right, so hopefully I'm saying your name right. We have a question from Trina. So hopefully, Trina, that is how I say your name. So she says, should I have a variety of prices, some real low or mid-range? Okay. Wow. I'm getting such a, if you get those, I don't know if you get those like ringing noises in your ear after that talk about like guides and angels. I got a really big one starting to phase out. Okay. So Trina says, do you recommend having low to high price ranges? Yes, I do. However, at the start of your business, you're not going to be able to create 4 or 5 products offerings at once. And you shouldn't try because that'll split your energy and sort of scatter your field. But over time, like for example, I have guided meditation albums that are $28. I have, Dolphin Consciousness that came out is $155. That was like a very kind of low cost offer that was like way awesome. Like could have charged way more, but I wanted it to be $155. I've got Energetics of Sacred Business. When it comes out next, it's going to be at around $555. My coaching programs now one-on-one starts at around $1888 for a few months, and we got Divine Feminine Business at the more higher end, and a lot in between there because I've offered a lot over the years. So I totally do love the idea of kind of broadening out your offerings. But again, when you're just starting, I think it's amazing to sort of start with potentially a signature program or something that like Divine Feminine Business for me is the 3rd time I'm running it. It's my signature program. It sort of has a lot of my teachings. It has like very spiritual teachings. It has ceremonial energy. We work with Isis. We work with Mother Mary. It's like, it's really about connecting with your guides, your angels, your higher self, and activating your soul mission, Archangel Michael, all the beings that I'm just like obsessed with and love. And it also has a lot of the business teachings, wealth consciousness, how to show up online with authenticity, literally like marketing. So that's that's a signature program for me that I love. And if you're just starting your business, I would probably say work on something like that. And then you can like round it out if you'd like. You can say, okay, I want a lower cost offer, a mid offer, and have some fun with that. It's really nice for people to kind of play in that sphere with you. And it's nice for people to be able to work with you and feel like they can connect with you for lots of different price ranges based on what they're able to afford. And then the second question is, how can I energetically call in clients? Okay, so let me get one thing that I wanted to share with you. I have my links ready. Yes, okay. So first off, I'm linking, and if you're on replay, I'm going to share this in the emails with you. So I'm just sharing a link right now for a free course that I have on wealth consciousness. So the course is actually about like really shifting your relationship with money. But in that course, there's a guided meditation to energetically attract clients in. This is free. It's a free course. So if you sign up for that, you'll get instant access to the guided meditation for attracting clients. So we sit, we get into our heart spaces, we feel our soulmate clients are in the world, we see them lit up in their hearts as golden lights, and then we call those golden lights into our hearts in this meditation. So you could do that meditation, or you can also sort of make up your own intuitively. Basically, your soulmate clients exist. You want to serve them. So I also like to ask, like, Archangel Michael, thank you for connecting me with my soulmate clients. Isis, connect me with my soulmate clients. Higher self. Sometimes before bed, I will say, higher self, Isis, Archangel Michael. You don't have to work with any ascended masters or angels if you don't want to. You can work just with source energy or your higher self, but if you know me, I love all the things. So I will ask before bed, thank you as I'm dreaming for connecting me with my soulmate clients. So maybe for Divine Feminine Business, right? Thank you for connecting me with whoever would be really, really served by Divine Feminine in business. You know who they are, higher self, Isis, Archangel Michael. Thank you for connecting me with their hearts tonight. And thank you for, guiding us to work together and activate in the dream time so that they know that this program is right for them, and guide them to come work with me in divine alignment. So I also ask and pray before the dream time that I'm actually going to go and I'm dreaming and sleeping, and I'm going to connect with these beings, and we're going to kind of connect in the ethers as well. Also, what I spoke to you before around having your energetic of your temple, your business, strong, so like what energies are in my temple, what are the frequencies, because it's different. Like if you see a restaurant that looks gorgeous and it has flowers outside of it and it's got a board with all, I say you're vegan, and it says like vegan blah blah blah, so that's for me, and it just looks gorgeous, and you're passing by, you're gonna be like, oh, I want to go in there. Maybe there's like things in the window. Versus say there is a similar restaurant, but it's just a white wall and not much going on inside. And if you would actually enter, there would be like 2 chairs and like a couple of vegan dishes, but you couldn't see it all. There was no vibe. Like, which restaurant are you going to go into? Obviously the one that's like bursting with frequency, that is beautiful and that speaks to you and that calls to you. So, maybe both restaurants have amazing food, but which one's going to get the actual customers? The one that spent time putting those flowers in, writing the sandwich board, really making that space really warm and inviting, making sure that they know who they're speaking to, right? They're not speaking to voracious meat eaters. I've used that word twice today and I never use that. I hope I'm using it correctly. I hope that's even a word, voracious. They know who they're speaking to. They know who their restaurant is for. Right. So that's how you attract clients, is so this is like your own temple space, right? Say it's the restaurant now. It's like, oh, how can I make my restaurant, my temple space, juicy and delicious, so much so that I just can feel it. I can vibe out with it, because the energetics are really powerful, Okay. So that's what I'll say about that. And again, go grab that meditation as well. There's so many ways to attract clients from so many different vantage points, right? You have the energetic, you have the actual strategy. So if this is like a, question for you, which I guess it is for most all entrepreneurs, I would also ask, like, have you looked at Divine Feminine in Business yet? I'll go get the link for that applications close on Tuesday, and that's going to be like your one-stop shop for really understanding how you can call clients in energetically at all levels. That's an 8-month journey. So that's going to answer a lot more. Okay, so now we have a question, and I don't think Trino is here. So if yes, okay. So we have Lauren. Lauren has a question. I don't think Lauren's live with us unless she's under like another name, pseudonym. So she says, and by the way, I'll tell you how many questions there are so you know. So we're on question 6 and there's 13. Okay, just to give you an idea. Don't worry, we don't have like 40 to go through. All right, so Lauren says, oh, just kidding, I lost her. Do you have a recommendation for how to design a website? Right now, I just have a Wix website and I can't afford to hire anyone at the moment. Yeah, you can use Wix. I use Squarespace. I design all my website stuff myself. If you don't have a ton of technical skills but you want to do it yourself, I would just say start really simple. Start with like start from scratch, like use a template that's just very kind of simple. So I don't know how Wix works, but for Squarespace, you just choose a template and then you can plug in from that template pictures and your own text. So it's actually really easy, but I would say just be really simple. Don't try to make this like really crazy, elaborate website. Just have like a home page, maybe an about page, maybe a blog, and maybe a page for your free offering. So the actual secret about a website, I learned this from Marie Forleo back in the day, many, many years ago when I took B school, is the actual strategic point of your website is to get people's email, to get people that you can really serve who are in alignment with you to actually capture their email so you can communicate with them, serve them over a longer term period. What's the point of having a gorgeous website that someone lands on and is like, wow, this website's amazing, I feel so resonant, and there's nowhere for them to say, yeah, I want to stay connected to you, here's my email. It's just like beautiful, 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 and they're like, wow, and they click off, they click X, and you're done, and maybe they're never going to find your website again. Isn't that sad? No, we don't want that. Oh, Lioness Laura says, this is Lauren. Okay, let me know if you want to come on. I'll just unmute you, Lioness Lauren. So yeah, you can let me know. You can come in. So am I answering some of your questions so far?
Oh, there we go. Now I'm muted. Yes, yeah, definitely. Squarespace. Okay. Cause yeah, I've got Wix right now and it's okay. But yeah, I need to add, how do I add the, how do I add like an email, like the free thing, that they opt in for, and then they opt in, so you have their email. How do I add that to a website?
Yeah, great question. Glad you asked, because I probably would have skirted over that. You can use, so first you need an email marketing service. So okay. I use MailChimp. I don't like I'm not obsessed with MailChimp. I've just used it forever. So I know that I'll eventually switch over, but I'm just being lazy. It's good enough for now. But MailChimp is like what a lot of people use. It's very easy to integrate. Flowdesk is something that I want to check out. Apparently it's very affordable and good. There's also things like ConvertKit, Aweber. Basically what it is, it's a email marketing service provider. So if you want to do more research about the best one, you can. If not, I would say go check out MailChimp and Flowdesk and see which one you like. Flowdesk is FLO desk. MailChimp, MailChimp like a chimpanzee. So that's a separate thing from the website. So you actually have to go, you sign up for an account. Hope says I love Flowdesk. Amazing. So you go, you sign up for your account, and basically you create a list on that site. You're like, okay, this is my list that all my emails are going to go into. And then you do a little bit of technical, tutorials, and you just take a deep breath and you have some tea and you just take as long as you need to figure it out. And you create an automated email. So that means that whenever someone goes into the list that you just created, they're instantly going to get an email that says, here's your free gift, here's the video, here's the guided meditation, whatever that email has in it. You can link whatever you need to in that email. And once that's done, you're done. And then what you do is you go to your website, you either get a piece of code from MailChimp or Flowdesk. Squarespace has MailChimp integrated, which is really nice. So if I'm on my website, I can just go add a newsletter, put a newsletter right in. I can say, okay, I sign into my MailChimp account on Squarespace, a little window pops up, and then I just say, okay, this list is Sisterhood of the Mermaid Moon. Done. So I save that, and now I have my box that's saved on my website. So when someone sees it live, that is automatically linked to the list, Sisterhood of the Mermaid Moon on MailChimp. So they're going to get whatever automated emails. I know it's like kind of hard to, does that make sense to you?
Yeah, definitely. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just a little bit of like technical figuring out.
Right.
Once you know it, you know it.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to go to, and yeah, you don't really need to hire anyone for your website. Like, you can have a super fancy website, but like, honestly, I don't know if you know who Amanda Francis is.
Mm-mm.
So Amanda, she's like a money coach and she's a multi-millionaire. Her business is crazy successful. And you go on her website and you're like, it's really not that nice.
Oh, okay.
It's not that technical. It's not that nice, but there's a lot of, it works. Like it's nice. It's not like a piece of shit. It's fine. But you know, you go on some people's websites and you're like, wow, like the photos and everything pops up at the right time. And there's like, you know, it's like totally not like that. Like it just needs to be functional. It needs to be functional. It needs to be clear. You need to have what you need on there. And that's it. That's like the big secret. You can spend as much money as you want on a website, but you don't really.
I love your website. I like love all the pictures. I'm such a visual. It's so beautiful.
Thank you. Yeah, I am too. And I just sort of taught myself all of that. Like all of that's done by me. And I just put in the time to learn because I'm that too. I'm a really visual person and I love creating like digital images and art. So I just taught myself. And then if you want it to kind of look like that, but if you don't want to put the time in to learn that, that's when you'd go hire someone.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so you have a second question, and that is, do you have any recommendations for how to create a program, like a course, but a somewhat interactive course through Zoom? Any guidance on this would be appreciated. I just need somewhat of a structure to go by in that creation process. So my question for you is, do you mean like actually how would the course flow? Like how do would we do a video 1 week or Zoom 1 week? Like, can you elaborate on this question? Because I wasn't 100% sure what you meant.
Yeah. So yeah, I think I was just like, thinking of like, just kind of like a structure. Yeah. Like how, like kind of like a template type thing. I don't know if like that, you know, exists or you just kind of like, I know like there's like videos, you can do, you know, live videos and stuff like that. Yeah. I just didn't know if there was like I don't know if you have any specific courses. I mean, you have like programs, but yeah, I guess I'm thinking of more of like a slideshow type, but also with like the personal aspect of like meeting with a group. And so yeah, I guess, I don't know if that makes sense at all. I guess I'm like really like beginner, like don't know where to start for that.
Yeah, no.
Like I have a lot of information that I want to share and, you know, wisdom and things, but I don't know how to go about like creating like a course or even like a program type thing.
Totally. No worries. So the biggest thing here is that I would ask yourself, if I was someone that was going through this journey, how would I want to learn? That's all you really have to ask yourself. That's how I design every single program, is like, how can I best communicate what I want to communicate? And if I was going through this, and at this point I've done enough online courses from other people and offerings that I know what I like, I know what I don't like when I've done it. So I just kind of look at what other people do. Well, now I've like done it so much myself that it's all just one thing anyway. But in the past, I really just looked at what other people did and figured out what I liked and what I wanted to do.
Yeah, I just started 2 courses right now, so I'm learning, like I'm going to learn a lot from that, I'm sure.
Totally.
But I like that. I like that, you know, ask what that person would need if they're going through. Yeah. So absolutely. That's a good point.
Yeah. Because really the goal with structuring your course is you just want to be able to deliver the content in the most effective way for your ideal client. You just want them to be able to receive as much as possible from the course. That's like in Divine Feminine and Business. What I've only seen one other human do, and I was really inspired by it, is my mentor, Elaine Kalila. And we had sacred pauses. So we would have like a week where we didn't have content. And that was great because I was able to catch up on content from before or just integrate. And all the other courses I've ever done don't have that. And sometimes it works and it's no problem for me, but sometimes I'm like 2 modules behind and we're already going into the next module. And I don't like that feeling of like, whoa, it's so fast and I just can't quite keep up with the content. Yeah. So that's
absolutely
what I implemented in my in this journey, this 8-month journey that we're about to do, Divine Feminine Business, because I know, okay, well, 8 months, that's a long time. It's a long time for a reason, because I work in a feminine way. We work slower. There's a lot to go through, and I'm not going to shove things down your throat and be like, learn it now. You know, it's like, cool, like, let's take our time. So yeah, hopefully that answers your question.
Yeah, it does. Thank you so much.
Okay, you're welcome. If you could just mute yourself, that'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Janet says, Beth, you just activated or made something land for me. I love when I can do that. Even though you have the skills, you're not offering to create people's websites for them. Yeah, I used to do that, and I didn't like it. It's been a huge block for me. I keep working on other people's dreams, websites, graphics, instead of building my own temple. Yeah, thank you for leading through example. I brought your wisdom and embodiment. Lots of visual and audio noise on my side. I apologize that I can't come live. Oh, no problem. Yeah, I used to offer website design, and there was a couple that I really did enjoy doing, but like, I'm just so creative. Like, I would like make a website and I'd be like, oh my God, I love it. And then I would send it to them and they'd be like, can you change this and this and this and this and this? And I'd be like, you are messing with my creative flow. Fine, I'll do it, because like I have to technically. But yeah, I just learned like, no, dude, like I'm just going to do my own thing and have fun. Okay, so Kat's question, how do I know, I love this question, how do I know if I have a block stopping cash from flowing? Great question, Kat. I'm going to be very direct, a little bit annoying with you. Unless you have cash flowing into your life all the time, like, oh my gosh, there's so much cash flowing into my life all the time, you have a block. We all have blocks. We all have like various levels of blocks, right? So unless you're just manifesting just like so much money and it's so easy, because that's actually how the universe is like designed to flow. It's just like, here's your abundance, here's what you need. Not necessarily like, oh my gosh, more than you could ever use. Like, just here's what you need, here's abundance, here's more than you need, here's overflow, here's abundance. Like last night we had rain, and it was like crazy how much rain fell. It was nuts. Like, the energy of the universe is actually abundant, but the earth has like a bunch of like fucked up shit that has happened. Part of my language. If you're into like multi-dimensional starseed races and all this kind of stuff, you probably know what I'm talking about like what has happened to the earth, that it's kind of been like cordoned off, I guess. So it's like, oh yeah, Beth, if the universe is naturally abundant, like look around, like why are so many people in poverty, like blah blah blah. That's bullshit. Fair enough. But what I would say is that the grids, like there's natural grids, there's a natural flow, there's sacred geometry, and for whatever reason, which is a whole other discussion, that got like distorted. So the grids around the earth got distorted, and a lot of these like sacred geometry kind of flows have really been distorted to the point where people live in lack consciousnness, which is actually so unfamiliar to, you know, pure source consciousness and how it operates. So our job as you know, beings of the light workers, shadow workers, priestesses, starseeds, is to reconnect with that natural flow of abundance. Probably you know that, and that's why you're asking that question. Like, I want to have that flow of abundance. So I left a link. So I think you're on replay. I'll leave it in the email as well that I send you. And all the communication after that link for my free wealth consciousness course. That course, I tell you, I could have charged $1,000 for it, no problem. But I was in France last year. I was having a very abundant month, and I was like, woo, let's share with everybody. And I created this whole course, and it was so fun. So that's available for you. And we actually go through like how you can figure out where my blocks are as ancestral. Did my ancestors like live in poverty, and I'm kind of like playing those templates and playing those like loops. Did I grow up hearing my mom say, oh, like for me, I grew up hearing my mom say, oh, you're lucky that you don't have to deal with bills and money, Beth. Like it's so stressful. You know, when I was like 7, and I'm like, thanks for the conditioning, Mom. So, you know, we unravel certain things from our parents. We have worthiness blocks. You know, we feel like we're not innocent, right? Remember that earth and the messed up things that we've been taught is you're not innocent and you're not inherently worthy of abundance. Actually, you have to work for it, strive for it, and suffer for it. That's a programmed lie. Thank you, beings. I love you. You're so great. Let's work it out. And we're going to unravel that, right? So in that course, there's just like step-by-step, so many tools that you can, it's amazing. Just go see the course and you'll be stoked. The thing that I want to say though about clearing abundance blocks is it's work. If anybody tells you that unraveling your conditioning around money and abundance is like super easy and can be done in a day, they are either on some magic pill that I don't know about, or they are very likely lying, because it's work. Like the thing about like I had a really tough time manifesting money in the first few years of my business. You know, pretty good actually, like looking back, like I was able to break even. I was able to pay for everything I needed to pay for. But it was tricky. And what I really started working on my wealth consciousness. So I might write down my limiting beliefs and journal about them. That's in the wealth consciousness course, free. I might listen to a clearing audio. I might say, thank you, Archangel Michael. Anywhere that I believe that money is hard, let's do this all together. Let's do a repeat after me. You can close your eyes, you can keep them open. Thank you, Archangel Michael, for clearing, releasing, deleting, and transmuting anywhere that I believe money is hard to receive, anywhere that I believe I need to struggle or suffer for money, and anywhere where I believe that money just doesn't come to me easily. Thank you for transmuting all of these places and beliefs, Archangel Michael, across all time, dimension, space, and reality now. And you can see blue light, electric blue light of Archangel Michael in your system. So that is also in the wealth consciousness course, like just prayers around like, okay, wherever I have these beliefs, let's clear them. So that's all I'll say for now. You can go through that course, and you can also consider, again, joining us for Divine Feminine Business, because we're going to do a lot around wealth consciousness as well. So if a free course works for you, amazing. If a deep dive course works for you, amazing. Those are both available. So Kat also says, how can I learn to connect to higher self and spirit guides for guidance? Okay, so we kind of touched on this in a little bit of a different way. The main thing I would say is ask. Also, like find, actually, I'm going to go get another link, another free course. So many free courses. I have a lot of fun. I'm going to link, okay, you're probably on replay, but for everyone else, and this is going to be in the emails, this is a free course to learn to work with Archangel Michael. That has amazing guided meditations in it. That's going to really support you in working with Archangel Michael. I would recommend a book called Ask Your Guides by Sonia Choquette. This very same one I was reading like 9 years ago, or however long that was, in my whatever that really hard, really boring finance class was. For everyone who's live, I'll write that down. Ask Your Guides by Sonia Choquette. That's a great one. I would just like connect with different books first, because while books, like I said, don't answer all the things for you or immediately create that direct connection for you necessarily. What they do is they activate your own remembrance, because you already know how to connect with your spirit guides and angels. They've been with you for lifetimes and lifetimes. You've worked with them for lifetimes and lifetimes on this planet, off this planet, in your light body, etc. You might even be acting as a spirit guide for someone else in another realm. So it's not like any of this is new for you on a soul level, but what we want to do is we want to activate the remembrance. So that's what the books can do, such as Ask Your Guides by Sonia Choquette, or you can go, bookstores, maybe if you have a bookstore open in your town, you can go to the spiritual section. You can look for any books that are about spirit guides, about angels, that call to you, that resonate with you. You can sign up for my free course with Archangel Michael. You can go on YouTube and you can search for meditations with a specific angel you want to learn to work with, and you're just going to open that. The other really important thing is just to ask. It's funny, right? Ask Your Guides by Sonia Choquette. The whole point is asking. So you can just say, spirit guides and angels, I don't really know who you are, but I'd really love to open up with you. I'd really love to receive guidance. Thank you for coming in today, or whatever. And if you receive anything from me today or ever, I would, really just love to communicate consistency. People are like, Beth, how do you do what you do? Well, before COVID, travel the world, have a successful business, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, literally, the reason is because I ask for guidance and tune in like it is my job, because it is. So whereas some people are like, yeah, but I ask my guides, I'm like, well, you ask once a week, right? And whereas, I'm like higher self every morning, like, thank you for filling me, thank you for guiding me, spirit guides, angels, Archangel Michael, thank you for showing me the way today, and working with them in meditation. And you don't have to do this. There's lots of different paths on the spiritual path. But I imagine because you're asking about guides and angels, this is something that would be interesting for you. So consistency is key. Ask, and always remember, you're just asking an aspect of yourself. You're not actually asking for external guidance. Archangel Michael is not an external guide. He is an aspect of you in spiritual truth. So we're not leaving and saying like, oh, I'm just going to leave my inner being and ask everybody else. What you need to understand, again, is we're all aspects of source. So you're connecting with these different aspects of source. So ask your higher self, ask your spirit guides, ask your angels, and you will be amazed. And then meditate. Give yourself space to actually listen. Okay, amazing. Thanks all for hanging out with me and hearing me rant on all this. Okay, so the next is from Yukta. Hopefully I'm saying your name right. What was the breakthrough point for you that it is a teaching curve for the rest of us learning to shift from masculine to feminine mindset for sacred business? How do we know we are more in the allowing flow into alignment? Okay, so for this question, I was always sort of more in my feminine. So I was never that like entrepreneur that was very, very in my masculine that was like, I gotta work. However, this is what I'll sort of share with you. Okay, how do I say this in a way that makes sense? So even like for Divine Feminine in Business, when I'm launching this course right now, this journey, like I said today, like I recognized last night, just like I recognized last Friday, I feel a little bit like burnt out. I feel like, okay, I'm at the end of my capacity to share and to give in that masculine way. I need to really reconnect. So a really, really big thing is like really tuning into your own energy field and asking yourself, can I hear myself? Do I feel centered? Do I feel grounded? And if you don't, that's an invitation to come back into that really feminine, nurturing space. The thing about this interesting thing about this question is you're actually talking about the shadow masculine being in overdrive, because the sacred masculine always listens to the feminine. So we live in a feminine first universe. If you look at how we're born, we come from the womb of the mother, both on a human level and on a cosmic level. We live in a feminine first universe. It doesn't mean the feminine is better than, it just is the order of this universe. So first is the feminine, then is the masculine. So the feminine is the oracle. The feminine is the one who's really, really, and we all have the feminine and masculine inside of us. This is all internal. This is all what we all have. So the feminine is the oracle. She downloads from the divine. So the feminine is the one that like drops in and is like, oh, okay, yes, I hear you. This is when we're on our meditation pillow. This is when we're out in nature just listening. This is when we're connecting with our womb. And that we get the vision. We download the vision. And then the sacred masculine comes forth and says, oh, okay, that's the vision. Thank you for the vision, oracle. I'm going to go out and build. The masculine is the builder. So he actually makes it happen in the 3D or in whatever sort of dimensional reality you're working in, right? So he's the one that makes it happen, so to speak. So if you're talking about the sacred masculine, well, the sacred masculine is always going to go, wait, I need to hear the direction from the feminine first. So the divine feminine and the sacred masculine really work so beautifully together. So if you're really just focused on, I want to be in my divine feminine, I want to be in my sacred masculine, and you're doing healing around both feminine and masculine energies, you're going to find that that balance just flows so much more easily. Right today, I recognize, oh, my shadow masculine wants to come up and do. So the shadow masculine, on the other hand, doesn't give a fuck about what the feminine thinks or the oracle. He's just like, whatever, I'm going to just do it. So that's what we see in the world today, right? If the sacred masculine was operating, he would be like, oh, divine feminine, like here's a vision for the world. All the animals, the trees, the humans are respected. Let's build based on those principles. But the shadow masculine is like, fuck you, feminine, I don't give a fuck. And it's like, I'm just going to build with no direction. And so when the shadow masculine operates, it's very destructive, as we can see in the world. It's just like, let's destroy, let's build without a thought for what divine will actually is. So today and yesterday, I was starting to feel my shadow masculine come up that was like, well, I only have 4 or 5 days to finish promoting divine feminine business. So now it's not the time to rest. I just got to go. But I was like, but I know that I can't really hear my feminine as deeply as I would like to. And of course, my sacred masculine also is like, no. We got to go to the queen. We got to go to the divine feminine in order to really hear. So I would just say, just try to become more and more aware of those plays within you, the divine feminine and also the shadow feminine. The shadow feminine a lot of time is like, I don't really want to download anything. I don't really want to do anything. I just want to like, she just doesn't let the sacred masculine do his thing. She doesn't even give him the context. She's just, what is the shadow feminine? We could go into there's a lot of shadow feminine, but try to be like, come more aware of like, okay, this is what my divine feminine feels like. Connected, downloading, yay, receptive. This is what my masculine feels like, or whatever. Like it could be different for you. Oh, wow, thank you, feminine. I'm coming from this deep place and I'm so excited to serve and build, and try to become aware of what the shadow masculine feels like when he's like, I'm just going to go. I know what to post. I'll just think of something. And I'll post it. So it's very mental. It's very just like, just let me do, because I feel I'm anxious. So I need to just be a crazy thing. Okay. So hopefully that answers. Does anyone have questions about that? That's like a whole thing. Divine feminine business, 8 months. We're going to dial into that so deep. Okay. So Yuksha also says, I think we're going to go for about another half an hour, just so y'all know. And if you have to hop off and catch the replay, that's totally fine too. Yukta says, what did you do to transcend the block, as we are so deeply conditioned and return to our patterns? Well, that's like a whole lifetime thing. That's like a forever kind of basically thing, right? Like, what blocks are happening within me? How can I transmute them? My go-tos, nature is so key for me. As you know, working with Archangel Michael, Ascended Masters, I really love the Sophia Code, the text of Sophia Code, to really deepen in my relationship with Divine Feminine Ascended Masters. So I have a deeper understanding of how to work with them. My higher self, downloading that every day. Your higher self is the one that can really transmute any and all blocks. And also this idea of learning that you're not fighting against your blocks. Blocks are there for a reason. They're a part of your soul path. They're a part of your initiation. They're a part of making you into whatever you're meant to be and revealing whoever you are. So also to not fight against the blocks. And my practice, thank you, Matt Kahn, for existing and reminding me, always saying like, I love you. I love you. When you have a block, like, I love you. Yeah, I see whatever rises, love that being held out. Kanji's got it right next to her. Yeah, just really realizing that, like, although this might feel like a block and my ego hates it, I can say to it, I love you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for teaching me. So that's actually probably my primary practice, is if I have a block, going, I love you. Thank you. I love you. And then when I feel ready, I can also bring in light and just ask my angelic light and my higher self to transmute that block and help it to feel really loved. Like, right, I just did a meditation with someone online on YouTube this morning, and I won't go back to his, I know this about his meditations. Sometimes I enjoy them, but I'll go back and just go, oh, because the whole meditation, we were like, okay, banish the dark forces, banish the darkness. You're done with it. You're done with it. And like, I live on a path of integration where I'm actually like, I love you. Also, darkness is sacred, and I much prefer the term shadow. That's a whole other thing. So the shadow energy, I'll go, I love you. I love you. Thank you for being here. That's how I deal with my box. Kanji says, light bulb. I've been thinking I can't do. I resist action steps and completely hold back on what the hell. LOL, I just realized that the consistency isn't happening to receive the complete insights. And so sacred masculine is totally like on hold. Like, I have half the puzzle, totally. And in our culture, as you know, we're very guided to just act. So it can be really disorienting for the ego when we're not acting and we feel like there's something wrong. But again, like, it's really important to download, like, be in the feminine, be the oracle, download what wants to happen, and there's no rush. And if you need money to come in, you don't want to necessarily launch a program just because you need money, right? And that's not really a super great foundation to come from. It's not bad, but it's not great. So if you need money, the sacred masculine can come in and go, well, that's fine. I'll get a part-time job right now. So you have more time. Like, the sacred masculine is like, what do you need to do? Like, I want to support you, feminine. I want to make sure that you have that time and space and that you're supported. You have shelter, you have food, you have everything that you need so that you can download and be that oracle. So you can ask, like, how does my sacred masculine want to support my feminine as she's receiving these downloads? So Janet says, yes. I don't know what she's saying yes to, but I like it. Renee, amazing. So Renee says, what is your opinion on having a free Facebook group? Well, if you know me, you know I love my Facebook group. My Facebook group, my Facebook group, originally, I started it as a place to get clients. That's how I started it. It was called Angel Coaching with Beth, Katherine. And I was like, this will be a great way to get clients. I see other people doing it. Then I started working with my mentor, Elaine Kalila, a really crazy, powerful, amazing priestess. And what I learned from her is, oh, my work isn't about me. It's about service through circle, as the priestesses would always sort of serve, usually in these like circle or spiral contexts. So I realized I don't want my Facebook group to be like about me and about what I know and about getting clients for me. I want my Facebook group to be a place that women can come from all over the world, and it's a safe place for them to share, to learn. And so I switched it over to Sisterhood of the Mermaid Moon. We had a ceremony to do that, a live ceremony to do that about 4 years ago. And yeah, so it's a place that, in a business program that I just completed, we were guided to, like, for a Facebook group, have like questions, like coming, like, I don't have any questions that you need to answer to come into the Facebook groups, partly because, like, I just find them really annoying. But also, like, to identify, like, is this person coming in my ideal client? And I was like, I don't care if this person is coming. I just didn't do it because I was like, I don't care if this person coming into my group is my ideal client or not. I care that they're going to come into my group. It's not about me. It's not about my business. It's not about getting anything. It's about holding space for amazing woman. And if this woman's coming in and she's just starting her spiritual path and, she's not necessarily ready to do any of this stuff, divine feminine business, that kind of stuff, I just care that she comes in and maybe she'll see a few posts pop up in her algorithm that will potentially change things for her and really have a strong effect on her life. So it's not that the former way that I was saying is bad or wrong. It's just that's how I view my Facebook group, is just an online women's circle. And you can work with me, you can pay attention to my stuff, you can pay attention to my offers to come deeper, or you can not, and you can just use it as a place to come and share, receive, whatever. And if you notice, and I also just let people actually, very, very, very rare these days, how many Facebook groups can you come in and just share your work and share a link to work with you? Almost none these days. Because people are afraid that if they allow people to share their work, it's just going to become this like very salesy sort of experience. Go on our Sister of the Mermaid Moon Facebook group. So much activity, so much more hop-in than most Facebook groups, and it's not salesy at all. How the heck does that happen? Because of how the energy of how I'm holding the Facebook group is like, how can I serve you? Prayer goes into that space. There's boundaries, but it's open, and it is not a place for me to just like toot my own horn and just get. So I know that was long-winded and maybe wasn't really your question, but that's how I view my Facebook group. And that's why, to me, it's so successful, because there's a deeper and higher intention than this is for my business. I really don't enjoy people's Facebook groups that you can't post anything other than like they're just so boring. It's just all about like, here's my free training, and nobody else is saying anything because they don't feel comfortable or safe, because this is about me and my business. I just like don't like those Facebook groups. Hope says, I love that. Been feeling hella disconnected from the way my group is functioning. Yeah, so explore that. There's no right or wrong way. It's just like, what works for you? Like, what do you, how do you want to serve? And you can have, like, right now we have like 3,500 women and Sister of the Mermaid Moon, and so many people sharing, and it's because it works for what I want to do. Sorry, I get really sassy sometimes. So yeah, I just don't like some other Facebook groups because they're so boring. Okay, so Georgie says, next question. Georgie says, I often feel depressed and emotionally unstable and find it hard to show up for weeks on end. Do you have any recommendations for navigating this? Okay, so it happens to all of us where we might feel disconnected for a certain amount of time. We might be going through a dark night of the soul. If this happens regularly for you, yeah, for sure, we want to look into it. The thing to understand about feeling depressed and disconnected, that's not distracting you from or in your way or kind of preventing you from showing up and doing your work. That is your work. What is in your way is your way. So if you're like, okay, Source, I want to be a healer, I want to be a coach, I want to support people, and you have depression and, funky energy coming up, and, you might think naturally, oh, well, I have no energy to show up and be online, so how do I navigate this? It's Source saying, for you to be the healer that you're meant to be, you need to look at this depression. You need to look at these feelings that are coming up, because this is your training ground on becoming the most powerful healer that you could possibly be, which is very undervalued. Like in the coaching industry right now, there is hardly any focus on becoming a master of your craft. And there is a huge focus on reaching your money goals and growing, which I have a big problem with, because I have actually worked with people that are charging so much more than their level of expertise and mastery is. I'll spend hundreds and hundreds and hundreds for a session with someone, and their level of mastery is just not at the level of what they're charging for. And it's disappointing. So what I'm all about is you becoming a master of your craft. We're always going to be getting better and better. This isn't to say like, you got to be the best, otherwise you can't charge. But the point is that the focus is actually also like, oh, I want to be the best healer that I can be. So whatever this depression is, maybe it's collective, maybe it's ancestral, but whatever it is, it's there for a reason to support you in your soul's mission. So you can hopefully, depending on the levels of depression, I know like sometimes it's just like a fucking dark hole and it's just, you can't see anything other than anything optimistic in it, but you can look at that again and go, thank you, right? Like my practice is like, thank you, I love you. What are you here to teach me? And even though your ego might say, well, I need to be a coach and I need to be a healer and I need to get my program out there and this needs to happen next month because that's when I thought it would happen. The universe might say, well, Here's your training ground to be the best priestess, to be the best healer, to be the best coach that you can be. I'm sorry that it's not happening on your timeline, but this is how you're going to gain mastery. And then, of course, you know, depending on how severe it is, of course, want to feel into, do I need any support with this? Do I need any help with this? Take care of yourself. Make sure that you're, you know, doing what you need to do for yourself. Okay. So Jennifer's question is, hi, I seem to, and by the way, we have 3, including this, just so you know where we're at. So, okay, Jennifer says, hi, I seem to hit a maximum number of clients per month, which leads to feeling stagnant and stuck. The past few weeks, business has slowed to almost nothing. So I tried a couple new things, but find myself getting impatient, feeling like I don't know what I'm doing, and I start getting into fear about money in my path. Do you have any advice for how to break this cycle? Thank you. Okay, Jennifer. Jennifer, are you on? Jennifer Lyons, this is you, correct? If it is, and if you'd like to elaborate on this question, you can unmute yourself if you feel very good and you don't want me to unmute you. You can be silent and do nothing. Let me see if I can find you. Jennifer. Okay, let me know in the chat. And if I don't hear from you, I'll just riff off on that. Okay, so let me just tune in for a second. All right, so one thing that we need to do on the entrepreneurial path when this comes up is we have to challenge those voices, like those pretender voices that say, I'm not enough, this isn't working, I'm stuck, this won't happen for me. We need to challenge those with love. And we say, thank you for sharing that with me. I love you. I love you. I'm hearing you. What do you need from me? But I'm choosing to see this differently. And the thing about this is if you hit a maximum number of clients every month and then you feel stuck and stagnant, it means that there's some sort of belief. It means that there's some sort of program that's happening that's sort of creating that and allowing that. So that's not a bad thing. This is going to happen every single level that you get to of your entrepreneurial path. Eventually, we just have to be excited about that and go, cool, there's something to learn here. Like if this isn't happening the way that, you know, I know that in my heart I can be more expansive, I can be more abundant, what is happening here? So you might go to your meditation pillow or your journal and go, what beliefs do I have? What beliefs that are coming up that might be supporting this reality? So it might be, well, I don't feel worthy of actually having this many clients. Or sometimes people have a block that says, well, if I have too many clients, then the government might know about me and I might have to pay taxes, and we might have past life fears about getting really in trouble with the government for our healing work. So we actually stop ourselves from being successful as healers so we can fly under the radar. So we do, like my mother had this totally going on of like, you know, she's a healer and, you know, it's like, oh, I can only have a certain amount because I'm under, you can't find me. So that might be a block. There might be, you know, energy around, let me just see if I can tune into your field and identify any blocks that I might feel into. I'm just not that person, you know. This was one for me, right? Like, well, I'm just not that person to like be rich and be successful, you know. We might have these unconscious ideas that we're just that person that we kind of don't have enough and we kind of struggle, but it's okay. You know, what other blocks can we feel into? It's not safe for me to be successful. Money's wrong, or it's bad for me to want it. There might be visibility blocks. You might, you know, not be actually showing up very much online and in the world to let people know what you're doing. So it's just kind of getting curious. And this is why we work with our higher selves. This is why we work with our angels and guides and go, what do I need to know that I'm not seeing? What sort of blocks are present that I can't really see? And that's when we get our journals. That's when we go to the meditation pillow. And I feel like everyone on this call is very intuitive, very powerful. So when you receive, you're like, oh, okay, that's a block that's coming up. I feel like you're going to know what to do with it in that moment. Maybe you're like, oh, I'm going to do a ceremony to burn that belief away. Maybe you're going to do a meditation that you like to do when you're going to call in white light to those places. Maybe you're going to say, I love you to that. What just came up? And then, of course, you can go to the transmutational prayer that is in the free wealth consciousness course. Okay, say the block is, I don't feel safe to be my true self online. So then your clients can't find you and see you. Okay, you might go, anywhere that I don't feel safe to be my true self online, higher self and Archangel Michael, would you please clear, release, delete, and transmute that across all time, dimension, space, and reality now? So you're going to see just light pouring into your field while you're saying that. You might say that 5 times in different ways. And then you're going to go back to that prayer as often as you need to start to really deepen the healing. And you can say it from different levels. So again, that prayer is in the transmutational, or in the wealth consciousness course. Okay, 2 more questions before I go play in the sun, because it just came out. But don't worry, I'm really enjoying this. Ashley says, okay, I have a past project, a co-created retreat with 2 friends, and I found myself really being the main driver and initiator around it and for it. I've lost motivation for it and want to focus on my own projects, including my own retreats, but I feel an animosity from them. I was always the initiator, and they're not stepping up in the same way I am. I've explained myself, held space for their feelings, and still I feel they're jealous and not wanting me to go on without them. I feel blame and guilt. How do I protect myself and keep stepping up in my business and creations, even though I feel disapproval or disappointment for them? Something that's coming up is the Ho'oponopono prayer. So you can feel into them and say, this is an ancient Hawaiian prayer. I love you, or it goes, I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. It doesn't matter if you didn't do anything wrong per se. This is like ancient magic where it, on multidimensional levels, really holds space for healing. So even if you feel like you didn't do anything wrong, this can be a very, very powerful prayer, a prayer of humility and a prayer of deep healing. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. And you can feel into them and go, thank you, I love you, I release you. Thank you, I love you, I release you. And in truth, you know, it sounds like you just need to kind of let them go and to send love to their energies and feel safe in being that powerful, that you are literally just at that level where you make shit happen. And if people aren't on that level with you, they're not bad or wrong, but they don't get to chill with you creating these big, amazing projects. They can do whatever else they want because you are a badass boss. So you can say, I love you, thank you, but I'm gonna transition out. Hopefully that was supportive for you. And I don't know if Ashley was on the call. I don't think so. Okay. And the last question, final question, is Kelsey. 2 questions. How do you reach a greater audience when you're just starting out online? Yes, good question. How do you reach a greater audience when you're just starting out online? Okay. So a lot of this is just very organic. So part of it is just showing up on different social media places. And basically you kind of want to have your home zone where you're constantly inviting people back to. So for me, I have 2 home zones. One is the Facebook group, Sisterhood of the Mermaid Moon, and one is my email list. So those are my home zones because those allow me to have communication, especially the email list, with people over a long term. So I will show up on YouTube and create a video with a great title that's going to interest who I want to serve. I'm going to show up on Instagram. I'm going to use hashtags on Instagram to make sure that more people can find me. I'm not going to use shitty shitty hashtags like #love, because #love has like a zillion posts and it will just get lost so fast. What are your ideal clients actually interested in and searching for in hashtags? So I'll show up on Instagram, I'll show up on Facebook, and all in those posts on my blog, right? I get Google traffic on my blog now. People search for Archangel Michael, they find me. People search for elementals, they find me. They find me from Google. All of that, I have my breadcrumbs that lead back to my main home zone. So the breadcrumbs, YouTube. Oh, did you like this video? Why don't you join my Facebook group, Sisterhood of the Mermaid Moon? Breadcrumbs. I'm on Instagram. Oh, did you like this post? I have more for you. Do you want to, up-level your energy around wealth consciousness? I have a free course for that. Here's the link, breadcrumbs. So all my breadcrumbs are leading back to my central sort of community zones. And honestly, it's just over time. I just keep showing up. I keep showing up from my feminine, download, oracle, powerful message, temple space, blasted out, naturally more magnetic. Breadcrumbs coming back. The nice thing about social media and YouTube is it will share your posts to a wider audience with more comments. You know, if people comment on it, they'll show it to a friend, etc. One other technique that I have to expand my audience is this one, okay? So if I'm on Instagram and I know that there's someone that does similar work than I do, I'll go to their profile and I'll look at their followers, or I'll see who's commenting on their posts. And I know that person's probably an ideal client. I'll click on their profile, and if I feel like they're an ideal client for me, and if I can support them, I'll go through and I'll like some of their photos. I will not follow them and unfollow them. That is a stupid thing that I don't like. That people use to grow their following, but I will like them. I'll show up. I'll be visible. I'll say, hey, I'm here. I'll like the photos. If I, have a comment for them, I'll comment on that. I'll bless them, and then I'll maybe go on someone else's profile. And this is actually like hugely supportive of, for me to grow my Instagram with people that I can genuinely serve. But also for your Instagram, you want to have, the spaces that you show up on, you want to have it like a really great representation of what you're all about. I like visuals. I like beauty. I have certain colors in sort of my temple zone. That is clearly visible on my Instagram. So this isn't going to work if you've got like an Instagram of like your cat and it's super grainy, and your kid just like made a mess on the carpet yesterday and you thought it was funny and you took a picture and put it on Instagram. Like, that's great. Maybe that's like an Instagram story. But if your work, you're like, I am a sexual healing priestess, and that's what's on your Instagram, people aren't going to follow you. And when they go back to your profile. So also it's just about curating your spaces so that you're actually showing up in the energy that you're here to embody as a healer. So hopefully that supports you. Honestly, a lot of it's just organic over time. And then another thing you can do is you can do like interviews with people. You can interview people for a podcast or YouTube video, and you can ask them to share that with their audience as well. Get creative and look at what other people are doing. And the last question of the day is, how do you reduce your time posting, or is there a time of day that works best? It doesn't actually take me very long to post, because I usually wait for when I have I do wait for when I have that oh, I gotta write that. Like, I do not just say even though the last business course I took, they were saying you should have a batch day and you should sit down and kind of create all your content at once. I don't like doing that, because I make my best, most magnetic content when I'm like, ooh, that's a post, and I'm just go right to my computer and share it. So it doesn't take me that long to actually create something, because I sort of wait for the inspiration to strike and I write then and there. So it will take me 15 minutes tops to write something. But something that you can use as a tool, but batch days might work for you too. So what a batch day is you say it's Monday and you're I'm going to create 3 hours for myself to just write. Maybe that just works better for you. So you can actually write all your posts, and then you can schedule them out in advance. So you're only actually writing 3 hours a day. That sounds like a great idea. It probably works for a lot of people. Again, for me, I just like to wait for the inspiration to strike. I don't have kids. I can do that. I work from home, so I'm a lot of the time around something that I can write stuff on. So it works for me. But I used to use Planoly, but I had some tech glitches with it. So Planoly and Later, I'll write those in the comments, are 2 platforms that you can use to schedule out your Instagram posts. And then right directly on Facebook, you can actually schedule out your posts. So if you want to write your posts in advance and schedule them out, save time, do a batch day, you can do that. Or maybe you're like me, you're super water, and you're just I just want to flow all the time with some fire when you get really inspired, and you just cool, get a post, download it, write it out, done. Doesn't actually take that much time. All right, and Nikki says, speaking of computers, what brand do you have? I have a MacBook Air, which I really like. I think it was about 1,100 Canadian. I got it refurbished on Mac. I love refurbished Mac products, because you can get basically a new amazing computer or phone, but technically it's used and just refurbished, so it's not the full price of other things. All right, so thanks so much for hanging out, and if you have any more questions, feel free to chat them, but I think we'll just tune out with a small, short, teeny meditation. So if you'd like, you can just close your eyes, take a big breath in. That was a lot of information. So just allow your nervous system to relax. And we're just going to tune in to Archangel Michael and Michael, and we're just going to ask for whatever messages want to come through to close out this session. So as you breathe, I want you to feel into your power. I want you to feel into your higher self, your actual business coach. So your higher self is your business coach, and your higher self is knows exactly the way to your soulful success. Nobody else has that plan and path for you but your higher self, your true self. So in this moment, give yourself permission to go all in with your higher self. Go all into your divine mission, to your soul mission. Remembering that your sacred business is an expression of your soul mission. So in that case, that means that your soul mission always comes first. To tune into your soul, to tune into your soul mission. If you don't know what your soul mission is, don't worry about it. None of us really fully know every part of it. Just tune in and ask every day, higher self, thank you for aligning me with my soul mission. We'll do that right now. Higher self, thank you for aligning all of us with our soul's missions, our reason for being on this planet. And feel into your business success, your sacred spiritual business success as a part of that soul mission. You're going to get sacred work and wisdom and space holding and love out into the world through your sacred business. Feeling your success and knowing now that you always have the most powerful business coach that you could ever ask for, your higher self. You have the most powerful business coaches ever that you could ask for, Archangel Michael, your angels, ascended masters with you every moment of every day. And when you're stuck, this is where you always go. You say, higher self, show me the way. You say, I love you to any challenges or blocks that come up, and you can surrender them over to your higher self. And you know that your higher self knows the way. And if you're experiencing a challenge, it's because that is helping you to be the best human soul on this mission that you could be, and is allowing your soul to grow. So you can love your challenges, and you don't have to be where anybody else appears to be in their success timeline on their journey. You can be right where you are and know that it is more than enough. Allowing yourself to dive deep into your soul every day, opening your heart to love yourself so deeply, and trust that the divine is fully on your side, fully supporting your abundance. And if that's not happening yet, just know that it's just because there's more to learn. And isn't that exciting on a soul level? Because that's why you're here, to learn and to grow. So it just means that you are exactly where you need to be. And that is the wisdom of the feminine, being able to love all parts of our journey, loving the thorn and loving the rose equally, loving the climactic experience of the rose in bloom as equally as the winter cycle of death when the leaves are shedding and it looks like a hot mess decomposing on the ground. So with the wisdom of the feminine, we call that into your life. I appreciate you so much. Thank you for being here. May your work be blessed. May your work be blessed. And may all those who you touch also be blessed with the sacred work that you do. And so it is. So you can open your eyes now, come back to this space. And of course, I will mention, you guys know about Divine Feminine Business now, but if you feel called to dive deeper with me, we're going to do coaching calls like this once a month and so much more. So hopefully just reach out to me if you don't have the link or if you want to apply and book a call with me to potentially dive in. We start on September 2nd, but applications close on August 25th. If you apply, I'm so excited to work with you and potentially, investigate that, explore that. And if it's not for you right now, I'm so excited to continue to just serve you and hang out with you and be in circle with you in the Sisterhood of the Mermaid Moon and through lots of other amazing experiences that are going to come out over the next few months. All right, so lots of love, and yeah, I'll unmute you all so you can say, I like to hear your, how do I unmute you all? Mute all, unmute all. If you want to unmute yourself, you can to say bye, okay? That's what we're going to do so we can hear. Janet says that was also beautiful, inspiring, and helpful. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Thanks for being
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Hi, loves.